Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's my Top Shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Welcome to everybody joining us live on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Please, please, please. Before we get into last night's action, which was great, got a few series tied 1-1. I wanted to address a few things we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
All right. First off, we have confirmed that the famous Gatorade flavor that blew away Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns over the NBA weekend was, in fact, a mashup of two iconic flavors, Glacier Cherry and Glacier Freeze. Okay?
Oh, it's a mashup, huh?
Yeah, shout out to Girl Talk. It's a mashup.
This is a straight up mashup. This reminds me of when Cam Stewart once called eating two kind of meats at the same time a parlay. I didn't know that this was called a mashup.
And apparently
but I'm glad
this
it
is good. I mean, you saw their reactions. I even saw our guy Will Liu on the Raptors reaction podcast last night. They got him one of these. He tried it and he seemed impressed.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes mashups are good. I'm not surprised that Cam Stewart would consider two meats as a parlay and try it out. I am surprised that a guy like Karl Anthony Towns or any athlete would just try a Gatorade, just because they monitor what goes into their body. So for him to just pick up some bottle and just try something he didn't know, I am a little bit surprised by that. But sometimes mashups
so are you
are really
saying this was all planted by Gatorade?
good. I don't know.
Guerrilla marketing.
By Gatorade?
Yeah.
Well,
Who else would it be planned by?
Karl Anthony Towns.
What?
He could be paid by Gatorade.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying that that Gatorade plant. Well, so both Cat and Ann.
I'm saying Gatorade planned all this.
Discussed
Got
it.
us talking about it.
Discussed
Showing
it.
us. Yeah.
Well, Cat has got to get paid for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
good
I don't think
amount.
so. Organic. Guys were thirsty. Wanted to quench it.
Sometimes you got to know where
Damn.
you're putting it. But hey, sometimes the collabs are good, drink-wise.
Hey, I'm intrigued. Those are two good flavors. Put them together. Why wouldn't they be good?
I'm drinking modern Dr. Pepper soda. You know, the healthy sodas?
Yeah.
They're damn good.
Yeah. When I'm doing my my top 3 fruit to turn into Gatorade, it's cherry, it's grape, and then it's freeze. You know, the freeze fruit.
Organic freeze.
Very strange. Okay, the other thing, we were wondering what player's name was the best to scream together, to howl in an arena. We threw out Bruce. You don't get a lot of Bruces in the NBA.
Not that often.
You know, Bruce Brown, I guess, was the only one I sort of comes to mind. And then Bruce Bowen back in the day. Anyway, Luke, of course, Strus, Max Strus, Deuce, you brought up, McBride. Well, Beanzo in the YouTube comments said, for the record, the best name to chant or howl or whatever is Lou Dort. No consonants in there to worry about. Carry that
So true.
for as long as your heart desires. So thank you, Beanzo.
And then add the Dort part. Or not.
I don't think they do. Just you get to
curious.
extend the Lou.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
the fun
really
part.
Luke without the "k" at the end, you know. So
Lou Gens. Because that's his full name.
Yeah,
Lou
yeah,
Gens
true.
Dort. And when it comes on the little score bug at the bottom to see how many points Lou Dort has, it says Lou Gens
Yeah.
Dort.
Lugans.
imagine Lou Dort was Luke Dort. Doesn't seem like a
Dort.
Luke. Yeah,
No, that
doesn't work.
doesn't make sense at all.
All right, so there we go.
Thanks,
maybe we'll
Beanzo.
continue addressing some things.
Thanks
Beanzo.
for writing in,
Yes.
Beanzo.
It's a good name to chant. Bean.
Beanzo. Okay, into last night's action. Let's start with the Hawks. Kaka! They shocked New York in Madison Square Garden with the late comeback, tying their series 1-1 with the 107-106 victory. CJ McCollum, he was the hero. Or is he the villain? Depends on which side you're on, I guess, you know?
yeah,
He took
so
control down the stretch, though, finished with 32 points. He was asked about the boos in the post-game press conference. I am no villain, he said. I'm a nice guy. with 2 kids and a wife. That's pretty funny. So,
I got a hot wife. We have sex.
Oh, he didn't pull a Giannis and say that.
no, not that
That's
part.
what the
But he
2
said
kids
he's
mean, bro.
not a
Where do
villain.
you think those came from?
Not
Well,
a
I don't
villain.
know. Maybe it's not a natural birth. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair
He
enough.
was awesome down the stretch, hitting big shots. Looking Trae Youngish there in Madison Square Garden, hence the villain part of it all. But where do you want to start with this one? Atlanta coming back. It looked like they were dead in the water. It looked like they were coming back to Atlanta down 2-0 instead of 1-1.
It definitely did. But CJ put his Trae Young costume on, and I will call him a villain. And it all started by cuddling with Jose Alvarado, 2 former New Orleans Pelicans teammates. We talk a lot about guys going forehead to forehead. They were going almost cheek to cheek when they were trash talking each other, nestled up in each other's necks. And, that was enough to get Knicks fans upset. That was enough to get CJ energized in the game. And he was awesome, basically going at Jalen Brunson all the time in the fourth quarter. He scored 6 in the fourth quarter, but it felt like a lot more to me. And the comeback was just surprising to see from the Hawks. They weren't making threes. They were just getting enough stops and making enough shots on the offensive end. Still, CJ had a chance to really ice the game. Goes to the line, misses 2 big free throws.
Yeah.
Unbelievable he missed those, considering how well he was playing. But, he had the adrenaline coursing through his veins. I'm sure he was extra hyped up. Knicks rebound with 5 seconds left. They have a timeout.
They do.
And they should have took it because I do not like that shot from Bridges right there at the end.
Wait.
The
They
attempt.
did not have a timeout.
They said on the broadcast that they did.
They
It
were
said-
incorrect.
Yeah.
They've done it again.
They've done
this
it
time
again?
it was
And-
Peacock. They did not have a timeout.
And on the scorers bug, it also said that they had a timeout.
Exactly. They used a timeout around 2:45. You only get 2 in the final 3 minutes. 2:45, and then they used one to set up the Brunson 3. They were wrong on the broadcast again.
Well, yeah, Stan Van Gundy botched it earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
in the
Prime
Hornets
Prime
game,
did it
yeah.
once, and now
Yeah.
NBC.
Yeah.
Get
They
that.
said
Well, in
it.
that case, good no call on the timeout. But then I'll change my opinion. If there's no timeout, then Bridges has to go to the hoop. The reason he got the ball is because everybody's flowing over towards Jalen Brunson running the right wing. You can see Jalen Johnson has his back turned to Bridges, so the outlet pass gets to Bridges. This is a guy that would rather take a mid-range jumper than a free throw or a layup. So pulls up for a mid-range jumper, doesn't go in. He was upset about it. I think he could have been more aggressive, and I think that Mike Brown should have figured out a way to call a timeout.
Even though he didn't have one.
Yeah.
Well, he probably shouldn't have called that one with 2:45 left when Brunson was actually sort of attacking the hoop, and then he decided to call that one. He didn't like the flow of things, he said, at that moment. But that one was obviously ended up, they could have had that one in the end if they didn't use it then.
And then they start that play because of the timeout fairly late in the shot clock. Not super late, but we saw a lot of possessions for the Knicks down the stretch here, killing shot
Oh,
clock.
God, yeah. Yeah, it was just like one, usually Brunson, of course, and then another guy coming over to set a pick. Yeah, like all of the action was happening between the half-court line and the 3-point line for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And like you're right, I think it was like, just kill clock. But hey, maybe you do something else and maybe get Karl Anthony Towns involved too. That guy touched the ball in the final 5 minutes. He took a 3.
Yeah.
I don't think he
was
touched the ball after that.
That was the worst fourth quarter for the New York Knicks this season because they only scored 15 points.
Wow.
Literally
Okay, yeah.
the worst fourth quarter. I just want to go to the lack of cohesion that they had on the offensive end, which I think translated to the defensive end because they weren't passing on the offensive end. It started with a no pass possession, 4+ minutes left, 4:50 left, and then that led to Jonathan Kuminga going end to end, rebound to a layup at the other end. When do you see that in a playoff game, especially in the fourth quarter, to see that happen, go end to end? And then that was the possession that Cat was short on a 3 where, to me, I think it all is connected. When you're not passing the ball and you finally make a pass and Cat receives the ball, and sometimes your shots can be short when there's just not a lot of passes, then goes the other way. Nickeil Alexander-Walker hit that 3 from the corner, which wasn't an absolute perfect pass by CJ McCollum, so he had a lot of time. I think defensively, the Knicks could have got out to him just a tad a little faster to rush him a little bit. That didn't work out. And then Jalen Johnson had his best moment of the playoffs when he went at Josh Hart one-on-one. It was all spread out because they're playing Onyeka Okongwu at 5, and so he goes to the rim and scores his only one-on-one basket, it feels like, in this game. and in this series so far. So that was that one. And then, we had Hard at the end of the shot clock. Again, no movement. So then CJ McCollum scores crossovers on Jalen Brunson to take the lead. That was an 11-0 run. I thought there was just a lot of standing around. Again, worst fourth quarter of the Knicks timed here. Pretty terrible timing. Again, if we have a couple of the clogged toilet shots go down in the fourth quarter, that could have gone down. Mikal Bridges had one. Ooh, oh, that's popping out. I got a plunger. We need a plunger there. And then the Jalen Brunson one. A minute left. Mid-range shot. Looks like a layup.
You've seen him hit it a million times.
Made it a million
Couple
times.
cloggers right there. If one of those goes down, it's different. And we don't see this bad fourth quarter. It is about the misses or the makes in this case, but I just thought the Knicks just kind of stopped offensively, and then that affected them defensively.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of blame to go around for the Knicks when it comes to losing this one. Brunson was getting cooked.
Yes, he was.
I mean, McCollum scored a lot of those big buckets on Brunson, attacking him. You bring up the Towns part like we talked about, sort of a disappearing act, but Mike Brown too, okay, the timeout is one thing that he probably shouldn't have burned there just under the 3-minute mark, but for 11 minutes in game 2, he decided not to have Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns on the floor. Little odd. They were outscored by 7 points in those starless minutes. And it's just strange. It didn't work all season long. He didn't do it a ton, but when he did have them both off, it was a minus basically 5.9 net rating, nearly 6 net rating that they were down. So it's it was just a weird decision to do that. You should always have one of those guys out there. And he did it in the second, and then he did it in the fourth of all quarters to do it.
Yeah, to defend Mike Brown and him calling a timeout there really, really late and using one of those timeouts, they weren't passing the ball. So he just decided, hey, we need some passing. We're getting killed here, especially Jalen Brunson having to dribble so much. And then in the other end, he was going up and trying to guard CJ McCollum. And you could see that crossover that I mentioned was nasty, losing Jalen Brunson on that one. But just so many things. OG Anunoby missing 2 free throws. Mm-hmm.
Well, the Knicks
That's
missed
tough
10,
with 2 minutes left.
10 free throws, which did them in as well. They committed too many turnovers. And Atlanta made mistakes down the stretch. Like you said, the missed free throws from CJ alone. But they missed 11 of 12 3-pointers in the second half. That's weird to come back that much as they did without a guy catches fire from 3, suddenly there's 2 or 3 corner threes. They only hit one. It was the Nickeil Alexander-Walker one that you brought up, Tass. But the Knicks still couldn't find the advantages. And I think a part of it was from what happened in game 1. The Knicks were up big. The Hawks went on a late run, if you remember. But the Knicks powered through and got the victory. And then the same thing happened. I think the Knicks probably in their heads same thing just happened. We'll be okay. We'll get it going.
Yeah.
And obviously some of those shots just wouldn't fall. And again, not getting Cat involved was a little weird to me.
Yeah, I thought Cat played a pretty good game. He didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. I give a lot of credit to Jonathan Kuminga. I thought he really stepped up in this game. His activity in the second half really helped flip the game. He was doing a pretty good job of being the guy on the wing to guard Towns, at least making him work for it. He had 2 big rebounds in the fourth quarter. That sounds ridiculous to say, but these were contested rebounds, and Towns was all over the glass through the first 3 quarters. But yeah, it's unusual that the Knicks would lose this game. The Hawks shot 9 for 30 from 3 and gave up 14 offensive rebounds. Those are bad stats to add up for a game that the Knicks ended up losing, especially because Jalen Johnson did not play a good first half. I was happy to see him actually answer the call in the second half and kind of stop thinking as much. It feels like he's catching the ball and just looking and surveying and figuring out where he can attack. Second half, he's just getting it and going to the hoop and making plays rather than thinking through plays. So I thought that was big. But yeah, this is a bad loss, I think, for the Knicks to blow the lead to a team that wasn't playing incredibly well. It's not like CJ went out and scored 20 in the fourth quarter. He hit a bunch of shots, made a bunch of plays, but the Hawks weren't hot. They weren't totally rolling. This was just little things adding up.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Kuminga, though. He played the entire fourth quarter instead of Dyson Daniels. Great call from Quinn Snyder, and he delivered. He had a steal that sort of started the rally. That led to a Kispert layup. He had a big dunk after that. He hit a Kongwu for a slam on the next trip down. Under 7 minutes left, he had an and one bucket with a very tough left-handed finish inside. And then he roasted Brunson with that semi-transition layup. And then he also had a huge block on Brunson, too. A help defense block
nice.
from Kuminga. They just swatted down.
Left hand, I think.
Maybe,
that was a big swat.
So he played an instrumental role in this
Threw an
comeback.
alley-oop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the play was by Quinn Snyder. Hey, we're going to play this guy instead of Dyson Daniels, so they got to guard the 3-point line because you can just play off Dyson Daniels. And I think that helped CJ McCollum's spacing out there and all of them. And so Kuminga came in with that big swat. This dude is playing for a contract. Kind of, sort of. The Hawks have a team option, a juicy one for next season. Do they do that? Or do they say, hey, how about 4 years guaranteed at a decent number, like, I don't know, 60 or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm lowballing Jonathan Kuminga all of a sudden because I think he expects more, making 24, I believe, as an option next season. But he's playing like he deserves more. It was great that the Hawks just figured it out. Jalen Johnson is just a great example of the way he started in this game, how Josh Hart was just in his shorts and Jalen Johnson didn't know what to do. And again, huge possession. If you look back on Jalen Johnson's playoff debut here, I think that one was it under 3 minutes left where he went and was able to score from the perimeter on Josh Hart, the guy who got him earlier in the game. That was his best moment. 3:20 left in that fourth quarter. But the Hawks were ready, I think, because the Knicks ran them down the court in game one. They beat them in fast break points. And in this game, the Hawks were ready. They had 10 fast break buckets to 6 for the Knicks. They were ready in that regard. So they did show up in this one. But the Knicks, just a blunder here, a blunder there. They could have won this game in game 4.
So game 3 on Thursday, back here in the Fortress in Atlanta. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
One, Hawks fans are, of course, very excited because it's a 1-1 series, but there are a lot of Knicks fans here in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
That crowd, it'll be close. It'll sound like this. Trust me on the broadcast. Like it's 50-50. Like there'll be a lot of Knicks fans there, obviously Atlanta fans. And it's, I think it makes for a fun atmosphere when like every bucket's getting oohs and ahs and people are pumped. So huge game. And we'll see how the Knicks recover from this because they should be up 2-0. They did enough. And they sort of just let go of the rope there at the end, and it got stagnant and made mistakes, both coaching, player, personnel. And like there were even some Hawks turnovers late down the stretch. Like they were given to them. Like Bridges picked one. It's like this was not one guy just absolutely catching fire. Like a lot of things went wrong.
Yeah, and their villain missed 2 free throws with 5 seconds left. Watching
and
that,
Bridges got a look. I mean, that was a decent look for not having a timeout to go all the way down the floor.
Yeah.
Hart kicking it ahead. Should he have attacked and all that? Yeah, but he could also hit a jumper.
that was Jalen Johnson defending that shot, right?
He turned around.
Watching it, I thought CJ McCollum missed his second free throw. I thought, are they missing on purpose to give the Knicks the ball without a timeout with 5 seconds left? But it just was a missed shot. Hold on, let me dumbify it for a sec here because I always mess up some of the rules here.
Sure.
Let's say that Mike Brown does call a timeout and they're hit with a tech.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So they give up a point and they're down 2. And then they get the ball. Is that a better move than just missing the free throw and just, or just going up the floor? Going up the floor with 5 seconds left, down 1, or do you call a timeout and say, "Hey, we're down 2 now," because you get the ball even though the tech hits you, right?
Yeah, you don't get to advance it, I assume, though.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. So it's stupid. Why would you do it?
I don't think you want to do that.
It's the exact same thing as long as you can defensive rebound. Unlike what Jokic did against Rudy Gobert. We'll get to that later.
You probably are not even allowed in that situation, this hypothetical you're saying, where you're trying to game the system. You're probably not allowed to even sub after that.
Yeah, you can't
then that would
advance
be
it. Because people would just do
exactly.
that.
Yeah. And they didn't have it. If it's funny, if you're watching it again, like the graphic had it correct. There was no little dash there. There was no dash there for a while. And then it popped up. Like you guys are right. It was showing there when they missed the free throws. But it wasn't there for a while. And somebody in the truck or somebody on the stats, or maybe it's even linked to the NBA, whatever, it did go up.
Yeah.
Maria Taylor even apologized.
Apology?
Yeah, she explained like they didn't have one.
Oh.
They didn't have one.
Yeah, I saw that Dash Daniels on the screen. Dyson's bro reference. I mean, we brought it up.
That's pretty good.
We used it a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's got a great name.
Anything else from this very entertaining Hawks win here?
It's happened this postseason, last night, and last postseason. But when I see Tony Bradley out there, I can't believe it.
That was amazing.
This guy, they were just throwing alley-oops over his head the entire first half. I don't even know if he can jump.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like.
They're like, we need something, man. We need some big body out there on Mitchell Robinson. So they tried Tony.
Yeah. And then they matched his minutes with Mitchell Robinson in the second half.
Sure.
As soon as Mitchell Robinson went out there, they said, here comes Tony Bradley. And this is a personal story for us here. But when Tony Bradley kind of had an altercation last night, like there was that physical moment, right?
Yeah, there was.
Was that the cheek to cheek? Either way, there was one. And when we went to a Memphis game, we saw Steven Adams lift up Tony Bradley, right? And drag him like 10 feet. I thought we were going to get one of those, like Tony Bradley maybe lifting somebody up. It didn't happen. They broke it up really, really quick. Yeah. And it was all good.
It was all good.
No fights.
Chalamet was in attendance.
I saw him.
Yeah. You were wondering, where the hell was Timothy Chalamet for game one?
Just wondering.
Yeah. He was there for game two. Was Felix there?
I didn't see Felix.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I didn't. Really good seats for game one.
Yeah, he had great seats. Yeah. That's Stephon Marbury.
He was right beside him, basically. Yeah, two seats down.
Yeah, sometimes they just reposition their Knicks players. I think it's just for the photo op, because sometimes Marbury is sitting beside Sprewell, Ewing, Marcus Camby, Starks. Like they're all lined up. Yep. And then he'll go to his seat because he wants to sit beside Felix Solis, the star of Ozark, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows that. I'm excited, though, to have an in with him because I've seen him walking around, walking his dog. He's a very dedicated dog walker. But what am I supposed to do? Go up and say to, hey, recognized your face, so I Googled a lot of Latino actors and finally found out who it was. Great job on Ozark. Now I'll just say, hey, great seats for game one.
You got exactly. You got the NBA sort of inroads now. You just say, what a game. Yeah. Like, wow,
what a game. Go Hawks.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Do you think he'll go down? He might be one of the 50% Knicks fans in attendance.
He should be
in Atlanta. Yeah,
he should be there. Okay. And I wonder if Spike Lee will be there. I liked his Pope Leo the 14th jersey he was wearing.
Why?
Well,
I thought Pope Leo was a Chicago guy.
He is. Spike took him a jersey.
Oh, okay.
Took him this very same jersey because I believe Pope Leo is a Villanova alum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a Catholic university.
Okay.
Obviously, they've got the big tie-in with the Knicks. They got all those Nova guys. But yeah, this guy just has garments you've never even considered before.
Yeah. So, I mean, Pope Leo, I guess, blessed that jersey. Is that what we're led to believe?
Great question. I don't know.
Didn't work.
Spike brought him the jersey, but then Spike was wearing the jersey.
Right,
so are there two? Is Pope Leo wearing one underneath his habit?
Man, this is like the Stanley Cup. What's the real Stanley Cup?
Yeah. I mean, Spike should take Pope Leo Jesus Shuttlesworth jersey, should he not? I'm just saying.
All right, he definitely could.
All right, let's move on, unless there's anything else, to the other Eastern Conference game. We'll get to that very entertaining Wolves-Nuggets game in a second. But Donovan Mitchell scored 30. Harden added 28. Cavs beat the Raptors 115-105. So they hold the 2-0 lead in their first round series. Where do you want to begin with this one?
This felt like a way better loss for the Toronto Raptors.
Hang the banner, baby!
Way better loss. I accept.
I agree, by the way. I do agree.
For sure. Scotty Barnes out there just absolutely pushing every opportunity he had because the Toronto Raptors, they lack a creator out there, especially without Emmanuel quickly. Yeah. They need every single possession to be pushed. Now, you could even hear the broadcasters say, the Raptors making their way back, it's kind of an ugly game. And it was. And that's what the Toronto Raptors literally have to be without Emmanuel quickly. We need to bring in Colin Murray-Boyles, who was fantastic off the bench because Jakob Poeltl couldn't get a good start going for him. He lost an offensive rebound, then he lost a defensive rebound in the first few minutes. You had Jamal Shed going to him. Here's how you clasp a ball. Clasp it, my friend. That's just 3 minutes into a basketball game.
Hey. At least Darko took him off the floor.
Yeah, and
at
didn't
least
start
Darko
the second half.
CMB in the second. You're right.
He was damn good.
Yeah, he was.
He was my favorite guy of dinkers and dumpers in the NBA. That guy can just float and push shot wherever he is. He's very, very good at that. And he fights and he scraps and he's really, really good at that. So that effort level from him, from Scotty Barnes, was evident, and it overcame Brandon Ingram's bad game. because he just wasn't feeling it whatsoever. I was having flashbacks of Lou Dort and how he was able to beat him 2 years ago when the Pelicans and Brandon Ingram were playing him in the Thunder. He looked a little rattled.
Instead, it was Dean Wade shutting him down.
That was weird, yeah.
Top blocking him, yeah.
Yeah,
He's in the Dean
A little
chamber.
different than Lou Dort.
but it was literally very,
I mean, he
very
couldn't
similar
hit a shot,
offense.
yeah.
He could not.
Yeah,
But,
Brandon
yeah.
Ingram ended the game with 7 points. Finished 3 for 15 from the field in game 2.
Yeah, so listen, this is a better win. I thought the Raptors fast breaks, buckets, they had 8, while the Cavs only had 1. You just need to be able to do that because you don't have Emmanuel Quickley. And when you don't have Emmanuel Quickley, they're going to allow three-point shooters to be wide open. Go ahead, Jamal Shed. Go ahead, shoot it. And you get way more turnovers. They had over 20 in this game. And even the guy who replaces Jamal Shed, who is replacing Emmanuel Quickley, and AJ Lawson, was having trouble finishing. And there's a reason that AJ Lawson didn't play a ton of minutes this year for the Raptors and now is here trying to back his guy up. Too many things that went bad, but I will say I enjoyed it far more than game number 1.
What do you got on this one, TK?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, if Ingram plays a normal game, the Raptors can win one in Toronto. After this is already a 3-0 series, I think it's going to happen because they got no answers for the top 2 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Harden and Mitchell are unstoppable in this game. They are making some impossible shots on this one. I'm talking about like the Mitchell low spin, the reverse direction, throws up a bank shot in, or Harden hitting a pull-up 3 over 2 guys closing on him. Just great shots. 9 points in the fourth quarter for Mitchell. I thought they were mostly well defended. 83 total between Mitchell, Harden, and Evan Mobley, who is playing incredible basketball so far in this series. First 2 games, 21 a game, 77% field goal shooting. If he's going to be playing this well, if the Raptors can't stop the backcourt duo for the Cavs, then it's just going to be tough. It's just going to be tough to get to that many points if you're taking the ball out of the net every single time.
Yeah, for all the hand wringing and talking about Brandon Ingram's usage percentage in game 1 and all that, like, I understood it and I got it and whatever, but they just can't stop the Cavaliers. That's the real problem in this series.
It's a bigger problem.
Those 3 guys, their big 3 can't all have elite monster games. Mitchell, they've had no answer for. Obviously, Harden has had this very good 2 games, but it's like been sort of super easy, so no one's talking about it. Mobley was amazing, I thought, in game 2. 25 points, 8 boards. All of his shots are at the rim. I mean, everything is around the rim. He's a quick jumper. He dunks quick. Mobley.
Yeah,
He just like very fast, like just no nonsense. So they gotta try and contain one of those guys, but they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So.
The only time they have a chance is when they limit their margin for error because they don't have one. And you saw it, I thought, in the second quarter. My man, AJ Lawson, who's playing the backup point guard minutes when he is a third string point guard, not going to the guy up top. Him and Mamu went to a 3-point shooter in the corner. And you could see Darko saying, hey, the guy is open. So, swing, open 3, just literally mistakes. And they just don't have that ability. Scotty Barnes had a bad turnover in the third quarter. There's just too many mistakes for a team that's limited. Unless Quickley is playing. I don't know, he is on the bench with his own water bottle, not a Gatorade bottle. I don't know if he's coming back or not. There is some talk about him potentially coming back, but they need him. They need a ball handler. And even though he isn't a traditional point guard, they just need somebody out there, especially when Brandon Ingram wasn't right. You could see just dribbling on the perimeter, just waiting for Evan Mobley to poke it from him. Very, very odd for Brandon Ingram just not to be. I understand what you're saying about the limited usage and all that, and he was doing better jobs of setting these back screens that were helping out, like RJ Barrett to go in and all that. But he just didn't get to his flow.
No,
I mean, this is just a bad playoff performance.
I'm just saying it's a tough look after game 1 to talk to the press and say, look, we're not going to win if I only get 9 shots. And then you follow it up in game 2 by getting 15 shots, but only hitting 3 of them.
Visibly frustrated.
And look, we've seen our fair share of, Raptors stars players throwing up some duds in playoff games, in playoff series. We've watched them all, being Raptors fans. How many DeRozan games did we have where, he had low efficient scoring under 10 points in a game? We saw many of them. Yeah. He had great games too. Lowry, as much as we love him, He shot 30% from the floor when they got swept by the Wizards through the first couple of games there. Bosch had a stinker or two in his playoff career with the Raptors. Vince went 3 for 20 in his first playoff game, if you remember. Now, he was young, but still. Wow. So we've had them. We've seen them. And this is now on the list.
We're reliving so many wounds here.
Yeah, I know. But this is rough because I think you're right, Trey. If he plays half decent, if he hits half of his shots, it's maybe this is a win even. Maybe they steal this one on the road. Mm-hmm. Because, wow. I mean, I do want to say, Donovan Mitchell, he was just like deciding I'm going to make every next shot like the higher degree of difficulty. He was unreal. And so it's an unbelievable comparison. Like Donovan Mitchell is doing these ridiculous shot making, and like Brandon Ingram can't hit a normal jumper. Mm-hmm. It's like glaring. Mm-hmm. But Donovan Mitchell, man, this just blows my mind. He has the 6th highest postseason scoring average in NBA history. Yeah. Scores more per game in the postseason than LeBron, and Booker and Giannis and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. That was a crazy graphic when they showed that he had moved into second for most 30-point games in the playoffs as a Cleveland Cavalier, and he's got like 12.
Yeah,
and LeBron
wild.
was 77, I think.
Yeah. And that's why they win and got Harden, just to take the pressure off him early to start games. And he did. Everybody did. And then Mitchell just said, yeah, I don't care. I can go one-on-one with anybody and do whatever he needs to, crossover, and get up and shoot that ball. Well, I do want to say, for the Toronto Raptors, although we're reliving these moments, if Quickly is out there, you can't double Barnes the same way. You can't double Ingram the same way.
That's true. Oh, yeah.
So that part is different. I mean, Jamal Shed just can't shoot. I know he started game 1, splash.
He started game 2 with a splash, and then I think those were his only points.
Yeah, then it ended.
And he still was like, he didn't kill the Raptors. I think he's still a positive player actually in the end when he's out there. But you're right, they are drastically missed. It doesn't help that they can't play their starting center in this series, and they don't have their starting point guard against a team. Even if they had those guys, I mean, they're not going to be favored in this matchup because the Cavs are that good. But
their starting center could just play better.
Well, you just told me he can't catch the ball. I watched it. He can't.
Yeah, that is true.
And he gives up points on the other end.
Yeah,
he's not good.
I'm telling you that because he should be able to catch a ball and hold on.
We lost, but I was happy at least that Darko had the balls to sit him, take him out, not play him in the second half, and trust the Rook and give CMB a chance here, who did play well. He made rookie mistakes. He fumbled the ball at times, sure, but I'm okay with it. I said it heading into the series. Throw him into the Lions' den. Get him these playoff reps. Hopefully it pays off down the line. Yeah, and he's looked good, and Jacoby Walter played okay too, I thought.
I like McCollum Murray Boyles. It was almost a year ago when he was drafted, and his reaction to being drafted, it was being questioned on social media. Does he want to go to Toronto, or does he absolutely despise it? That effort out there so many times, guarding guys, fighting for every rebound. You could see this guy likes the battle. He likes the playoff battle. He's ready for that. Well, unfortunately, Jakob Poeltl, who's literally signed through 2030.
Please don't remind me.
Now, that last year is partially guaranteed.
Don't remind me.
But that extension is 3 years, full guaranteed, starting next season, and then a partially guaranteed for that 4th year that he just signed this past offseason. Yeah. So that's a huge question for Bobby Webster, the Raptors' new leader of the front office after firing Masai Ujiri. What is that all about? Unfortunately. And maybe it's partially physically or whatever, but that doesn't factor into being able to grab a rebound and just hold it like two claws.
Yeah, he's got to start doing yoga.
Unfortunately, here's where we're at with this series. Will the Raptors ever be able to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a playoff game? Because Cleveland has beat them 12 straight games. That's it. That will be a win for me. They got to win one game is where I'm at.
Win one for
series.
Skeetsy.
Yeah. That ties the NBA postseason record for consecutive wins against an opponent, by the way. Cleveland versus the Raptors. Streak began in 2016, Eastern Conference Finals, when the Cavaliers took the final 2 games. Okay. Remember the Raptors tied it up 2-2, and we were like, Bismack Biyombo, baby. No, not Bismack. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Bismack's peak of his career.
That's right. That was that series. What do you have, the 20-plus rebounds? Yeah. Anyway, they
Biyombo.
lost those last 2 games. Then Cleveland swept Toronto in 4 games in the second round in 17 and 18. So that's how we're at this streak.
Hold on. That's 6 that you just said. 2 plus 4.
I said 2 sweeps.
That's 8.
The 2 on the 2.
Oh, there's 2 sweeps after that 16
there was,
conference
buddy.
finals?
LeBronto, baby. Yeah.
17 and 18?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I don't blame you. Don't remember those. So anyway,
You starting CMB then for game 3?
I mean,
That's
why
a
wouldn't
great
you?
question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you could start Mamu.
Mamu played well in this
Yeah, he
one.
did. He did.
I just think Pirtle buy and start CMB and go with Mamu and hope Ingram can hit some shots. And
Yeah.
I think he'll have one good game here.
Pearl play
And
at
hopefully
all?
quickly. No.
7 guys then?
Yeah, that's what he did.
That's a long
I mean,
time.
hopefully, I guess a part of that equation is quickly. It would be nice coming back, but
Yeah, that'd be big time.
I'm not holding my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, incredibly, the Cavs also have a 12-game win streak against 2 other teams, Detroit and Atlanta. And now the Raptors, too. And the Lakers have a 12-game run against Seattle from 1980 through 1989, just to wrap up that record streak right now.
So those are all LeBron, essentially.
Yeah.
Atlanta and Detroit.
So you're telling me the Seattle one is still active though?
No, 80 through
okay.
89. Yeah.
I was like, wow. Imagine
I'm just
that comes
saying if
back
the
30
Cavs
years
beat
later.
the Raptors in game 3, they'll have the all-time record for consecutive wins against an opponent.
It's a kitchen sink game there.
Yeah. Exactly.
One more note from this game. When Jared Allen ran into the crowd, ran through that escape lane and literally looked like he stepped on fans' faces.
Yeah.
And then you could see Dennis Schroeder on the Cavs bench smiling. The biggest smile I've ever seen of his career. It looked like to me he was saying, "Did you step on that fan's face? Because I love it." While there was another guy down the bench, Naquan Tomlin, looking like, "Oh, God, what happened out there? Did you step on that?" Just 2 juxtapositions. This guy loves a step on the face. This guy hates it. And
And then he
liked
took
it so
forever
much.
to get back. He took the long route to get
That
back.
was strange. And
Like
Fan
he
was
just
fine,
won an
I guess.
Oscar, but he was like one of the categories nobody cares about to get to the stage. It took him forever to get back
Come
to the
on down
bench.
here, sound design.
That was strange.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stage
speaking of
design,
faces,
well done,
Mamu hit Dennis Schroeder in the face on like
Yeah,
2 of
twice.
4 possessions.
Once in the
Ripped through,
chin.
hit him in the
Yeah.
chin. He's like, let me get the top part. Smacked him in the top of his head on a Schroeder reverse.
Yeah.
I guess I was feeling bad for Dennis, but he got the call on both of them.
Yeah.
Neither flagrant. I
No.
thought that was fair.
Yeah. And as soon as he got the call, he just got right back up.
it's like,
he
that's
didn't.
cool.
He didn't try and sell it for.
I feel like for the most part in a lot of these playoff games so far, we're going over to the monitor, unfortunately, to check to see if it's deserving of a flagrant. And more times than not, it's been like, no, it's just a common sort of hard
Yep.
playoff foul.
It's a nice
So
foul.
we just waste time more than anything to get to that decision when we could just keep playing. But anyway, at least they're not overreacting is my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Not looking good for our Raps. We got to win one to stop the streak, though. So we gotta
Stop
do
the streak.
Thursday or whenever they play Friday, maybe. No, Thursday. They play Thursday. Okay, final game from last night. This was a good one. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle rally the Wolves past the Nuggets 119-114. They even their series. TK, Ant looking much better. After game 1, he had 22 points, but that little bum knee there, finished with 30 and 10. And it was really Denver going ice cold down the stretch.
Yeah, exactly right, Skeets. We all picked the Timberwolves to win a few games in this series. This is 2 very well-matched teams, but I definitely didn't think there would be losses for the Nuggets where it's Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic coming up short. They went 2 of 12 combined in the 4th quarter. The only bucket for Jokic was a nice, sweet dunk.
Yeah.
Very cool dunk. But I thought Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo, they had Jamal Murray looking pretty tired. He had a really nice game. He had 2 double-digit quarters of his own. Jokic was on fire in the third quarter, went for 16. Basically, Rudy Gobert fouled out. They didn't want to risk Julius Randle picking up fouls, so they're like, we're going to try Naz Reid. We're going to try Jaden McDaniels. We're going to try Kyle Anderson for just a split second here. None of that worked, but maybe it worked getting Jokic tired because he was getting some shots that he can easily make. Had a couple of missed layups that looked pretty odd to me. Had an air ball 3-pointer. Gobert, I thought, was a really good defender, but only like half the shots were even defended by Rudy. So that was kind of crazy to me. I even thought that Jokic probably should have taken the floater on this last pass he had where he drops it off to Christian Brown. It's Ant closing. Like, Jokic catches the ball at the free throw line. Ant's maybe at like the restricted area, half circle. Put that ball way up there.
Yeah.
But that was the second time in the game that Jokic had passed up a floater, and maybe he just wasn't feeling it touch-wise. On the other side, though, Ant was making so many plays. I was a little concerned for the way he was playing in the first half. Like, he was making some threes, he was making some outside shots, but it didn't look like he wanted to get into the lane. He was definitely more comfortable settling for jumpers, but in the second half, he's blocking shots, he's getting offensive rebounds, he's getting downhill. It was pretty good stuff from Ant, and Randle really took him over the edge, I thought. So, weird game. Not weird that the Timberwolves won, but weird that, like, Jokic and Murray failed their team in this game. Yep. Absolutely.
That's a good way to put it. Jokic did not come through. I thought specifically it was on him in the fourth quarter for just not hitting shots. He was 1 for 7, and I know everyone giving credit to Rudy Gobert. Oh, he guarded him very well. I don't buy that for a second. Watching every single
really?
one. No, he plays him well. In that fourth quarter, Rudy Gobert's defense did not factor into Jokic missing 2 layups. There was a tiny push in the back of one that Jokic didn't get a call for. So he missed two layups. They're literally layups that Jokic could hit, or a hook shot over Rudy Gobert.
His patented little hook shot that you've seen him hit 1,000 times.
Way too short. And he threw up just a shot with Gobert in his face instead of the fade. I mean, now I'm telling him what to do, and that a fade would have been better, like him over Victor Wembanyama. Like I don't know why he threw a shot so close to Rudy Gobert. It didn't really make sense to me. Then he airballed a 3. Nikola Jokic. He missed, and maybe he's not feeling it right. And then his other 3 was short, way short. Yeah. So 1 for 7, then he only had that dunk 19 seconds left after basically missing his first 6 shots. So he just wasn't right. He wasn't feeling right. Maybe the bodies ain't right, but I don't buy the Rudy Gobert defense thing. The first quarter that the Nuggets destroyed the Minnesota Timberwolves in this game, Gobert goes to the bench, and they came back with him on the bench because they went 5 out and they won those minutes 30-20 with Gobert on the bench.
That was huge.
That was really, really big. And listen, I like the Timberwolves and what they were doing when Rudy was on the bench and things weren't going extremely well. Kyle Anderson came on over. He's the coach, man. He's the player coach that came over to Rudy Gobert to say, all good, man. But listen, Rudy did some good things. That play at the end of the first quarter where he led the break and set up the Jaden McDaniels score, all good. But it was 39-23. Rudy Gobert goes to the bench, and that's when they came back. And I'm not saying that they're better without Rudy, but they just were able to do it really well, and I just don't buy this whole Nikola Jokic was stopped by Rudy Gobert. I mean, watch those shots.
I gotta defend Rudy Gobert. I
don't get it.
There was a couple plays in particular. You guys went through the ones where he's airballing threes, Jokic and all that, and missing some like left-handed layups, bunnies that he did just botch. But around the 3-minute mark, Jokic was once again one-on-one versus Rudy. He decides, I'm going to back him down. And then he did his spins. Rudy didn't bite on any of them. He stayed down. He's obviously huge. He got him to miss the shot. And not only did he get him to miss the shot, how many times has Jokic missed a layup? And what does he do? He just grabs it again and puts it right back in. It's the Trey Kirby, man. Drives me bonkers playing against this guy on Thursday Night Hoops. We got to stop. Somebody get the rebound. Rudy, wisely, he like tipped it. He knew it. He was like, he missed it. All right. We've successfully half completed this possession, but then he purposely tipped the rebound out and they came up with it. That was smart. And then he had an offensive play where he outbodied Jokic for a rebound with like 2 minutes to go. And then he dunked it. Huge points. So yeah, some Jokic just like blatant misses. It like didn't matter who's on him. There was a lot of other ones where at least he was making it difficult and maybe playing a part into tiring him out as well.
Big time.
Where this is why he's short on all these threes, like significantly short on the air ball. So Rudy was good, man. He was.
Jokic
He's been good in these 2 games. He's been very good.
Oh, he was. Jokic just wasn't himself, I think, is what a huge factor was. And yeah, he could have been tired. I don't know his tired level, but he didn't come through in the fourth quarter. I thought Aaron Gordon also, we always considered the Denver Nuggets X factor Aaron Gordon. He just had a pretty tough game. Bad game.
Yeah, he got outplayed by Randle and he got outplayed by McDaniels. So I thought Randle was really awesome. He was the main Jokic defender during the small ball run for the Timberwolves in the second quarter that actually got them back in the game. And then in the fourth, he was like forcing the action. Drives, dishes. He played a really, really solid game. He kind of disappeared in the third quarter, but had enough juice left in the fourth. And you combine that with Dante DiVincenzo having the quickest trigger in probably the entire NBA. If he's got a split second, it's going up. Doesn't matter. They're like, take 100 threes in a game. Had that big one with like 50 seconds left where I guess the Nuggets were probably playing some sort of zone. And it was just a weird help because he was one pass away and jacked it from deep.
Matchup zone, they're calling it there. Yeah, they had some guys come through. Obviously, DiVincenzo to provide that little bit of space. He's ready to go at all times. Bones Highland was really big. Coming off the bench, he had 13 points in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Those are key minutes in the second when everybody was touching the ball with Rudy on the bench for them to be able to come through. He also had 4 fouls in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. He was doing everything he could out there against his former team. Good little story out there. Bones came through.
Yeah, Nas Reed was good there for that stretch. This game, I mean, if you didn't watch it, like Denver was up, 20? Basically 19? Something like that early in this game. And then they flipped it in that second quarter, and it was after Jamal Murray hit the half-court shot. It was tied at the half at 64-64.
Yeah,
but you brought up McDaniels, too, and DiVincenzo. Like, while Rudy was trying his best to turn the tap off of Jokic scoring, they were doing a good job, those two guys, perimeter defenders, their on-ball activity on Jamal Murray in that obviously patented two-man game. Like they're, putting a kink in the garden hose to try and slow that too. They just really ramped it up, their physicality with them and getting out on them. So incredible stuff because we don't see a lot of teams figure out how to stop the Jokic-Murray two-man game down the stretch. And yeah, you got to hope and pray that they just miss some shots, which they did, but you also have to make it difficult and tire them out, and they did a great job.
Yeah, great job for Jamal Murray to bounce back. He was 0 from 3 in the first game, 0 for 8 to 6 of 14. He was feeling good, but Anthony Edwards was big. Defensively, he provided Minnesota their only 2 blocks of the game, and this guy has a knee that is bothering him. They're calling it the old runner's knee. Yep. As Sham said, the same thing that Steph Curry is going through right now, and you could see Anthony Edwards needed to lay down at times, when the guys get those few extra seconds on the floor. Like, he isn't right, but effort level, obviously, there. And trickles down to everybody, for sure.
So Denver blows their chance to take control of this series, but not shocking, because what did we say? They win game 1s. They generally lose game 2s. And these two series, or these two teams, I should say, are now, I think, over their last 30 games, 15-15.
That's right.
Evenly split. So are we going 7 in this one? Probably.
We're going to game 7?
The way these two teams
let's
split.
do it.
Yeah, why not?
Well, the NBC stat that they were sharing there, that the Nuggets are unbeaten 8-0 when they go up 2-0, while the Wolves are 0-8 when they go down 2-0.
Yeah.
So
they had to have it.
We needed it.
They had to have it. Yeah, this is
Everybody
good for the playoffs. Couple of these series going 1-1.
yeah.
Back to the other barn. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I got some
Wolves
notes.
Nuggets. Yeah, go
Timberwolves fouled the 3-point shooter 3 times in the first quarter. That's got to be a record.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
that's a lot. 3 times in a game is a lot.
Yeah, 1 quarter.
3 times in a quarter is insane. I liked Tim Hardaway Jr. made a great save in the first half. Ball gets turned over, though, at half, and Bones Highland brings it back. Tim Hardaway takes a charge on Bones Highland and then celebrated like a pouty toddler.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. What a hilarious celebration from that guy.
That's exactly my note, too. The maddest baby. He was so mad after a great draw of the charge, which wasn't a charge. I think he was moving, but there was a little makeup
Bones
call.
pancaked him.
Yeah. And yeah, there was a kind of a makeup call because Kyle Anderson knocked out a ball that should have gone the other way. My last note here, Christian Brown was fouled on that dunk attempt late in this game. It was challenged, and Tony Brothers came back and said, foot to knee contact. Foot to knee contact. The offensive player hitting the defensive player with his foot on the player's knee. And that is weird. But Austin Rivers on the broadcast said, TB, Tony Brothers, is a legendary ref, but he's a prideful guy. I like how he called him out, basically saying he cannot rescind his
Yeah, he can't
call.
admit that he was wrong.
Yeah, he's too prideful for that.
Prideful
The
guy.
foot to knee is bullcrap.
Foot to knee contact was a tough call for sure.
Come on, man.
All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we do have some other NBA news.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That is right. Turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets. Just for getting started. And when every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up. I looked today. Every favorite is still the favorite in their series.
Interesting.
Rockets, Thunder, Spurs, Knicks, Pistons, Celtics, Cavs, all favored. Nuggets, Wolves was not yet on the board
Ooh.
after the Game 2 result. You think that'll change?
I'm gonna check right now.
I think it'll be, Nuggets lost home court advantage.
I don't think it's going to change. I think there'll be a slight favorite still.
Yeah, like a minus one.
Still not on the board.
Like a minus 105.
That's toy.
That's basically a
It's
pick 'em.
toy like a tiger.
Yeah.
FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. Skeets, how are your fingy tips doing today?
My fingies are better, thank you. Didn't find the ring still, but that's okay.
You getting the metal detector? Got it, man.
No. I mean, if somebody has one, I'll borrow it. I'm not buying one.
No,
Can I buy those at Quince?
You can. Maybe. I'm sure you can get hire an 80-year-old man who comes around and does a little metal detecting.
Okay, do you have a
There's
card
businesses.
for me? I mean,
Well, somebody sent in a message. One of our fans
Yeah.
said there are great businesses that you'll be able to find it.
oh, so I can look
soon.
it up. All right, I'll maybe look it up.
FanDuel has everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Tass, I'm looking forward to you providing us the name of the 80-year-old man. who
Yeah,
will go
why is he an
over and
80-year-old man?
Oh, come on.
That would take forever.
Texting.
Pick it up, old man. Just give it to me. I'll have this done in 10 minutes.
This comment from the stream team from MWTE2VG said, Skeets! Exclamation point. There is 100% a local metal detecting community that would love to help you out.
Community now. All right.
Look for metal detecting vendors/rental places, and they will absolutely know someone that will help you find the ring. Call ASAP. Don't disturb the lawn and hope it doesn't rain. I've known someone that lost the ring at the beach and didn't notice until the next day. Within an hour of calling, she had someone there who found it underwater a foot beneath the sand.
That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Sounds far.
I told you the story about Jared Dent finding his wedding ring in the waters. In Jamaica, we were throwing around the old ball like we were like 8 years old out in the water, of course, as you do. He came up once. He's like, "Oh crap, my wedding ring's gone." I'm like, all right. And we knew where he was standing. You know, the water wasn't that deep, couple feet deep, but I went over. I got in there with my goggles. I couldn't see shit. I'm like, he's not finding this.
You had goggles?
Yeah, of course we were 8 years old, man. He had goggles. But he put them on and he just kept diving, looking, and he incredibly came up with it.
That's
not
amazing.
a metal detector in sight either.
Literally just
smell underwater.
wow.
That's amazing. I could not believe it.
know.
I was like, there's no way you're going to find it.
The only way I would think you'd find it is if you stepped on it. Just go.
Yes.
Get lucky, yeah.
Go with your feet. That happened to our man Ken Angeles. If we want to remember that, he lost his glasses, which are also
glasses.
his specs.
Yeah.
Specs
True.
and sunglasses,
Yeah.
and he lost them in the water. I don't know how he found them. Great eyes, even without his spectacles. How did he do it?
I got lucky, I think.
Yeah,
Incredible.
cool story.
All right, some news. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama captured the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year award on Monday night. Wemby earned all 100 first-place votes, and at just 22 years old, he became the youngest player to win the award since it was introduced in 82-83. Yeah, sort of shocked me a little bit. I was like, oh, cool. So he's also the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year winner. No shock here, Tess.
No, it's fitting that he's the one that gets the first unanimous award, because when we look back and see a guy who's won the most Defensive Player of the Year awards, it belongs to this guy that he got the first unanimous. I assume he's going to win the most because he's Victor Wembanyama. I got to assume it. He's going to pass your Rudys, your Dikembe Mutombos, your Rodmans, your
Ben Wallace.
Draymond Greens, your Ben
Dwight,
Wallaces. Yeah.
You're probably right. How many will he end up with is really the question here.
Yeah, exactly right. I imagine he will also at some point be the second unanimous Defensive Player of the Year winner.
Yeah.
Because who else are you ever going to pick while this guy's in the league?
Yeah.
We've never seen a guy like this.
Yeah.
Except for literally watching Wilt Chamberlain highlights. You're like, oh, that guy's way bigger and faster than everybody.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
I guess Bill Russell probably is similar. The athleticism and size. That's what Wemby is, but he's playing against incredible athletes at this point. So, not a surprise. A little bit of a surprise that he was unanimous, I would say. Anytime you just see unanimous for an award, it's like, oh, that's impressive. But I also started thinking Spurs have to be the greatest defensive franchise in NBA history.
Yes.
Wemby is the fourth Spur to win Defensive Player of the Year. Alvin Robertson was their first. David Robinson got one as well. Kawhi got a couple of them. Tim Duncan was all defense 15 times.
Tim Duncan
First
didn't
team
win one.
8
It's
times.
insane.
He didn't win one. Yeah.
So the Spurs got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wemby called this too. He said in March, I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. So he was right there. No lies detected. I do like about this. This is where the eye test matches the defensive numbers, right? You watch a game, you're like, yeah, that guy's the best defensive player. Guys are scared to shoot when he's around. The nopes, the neverminds, whatever we call them. Also, league leading 3.1 blocks. No one else averaged more than 2 blocks per game. Like Chet Holmgren's like 1.9. Jay Huff, 1.9. And then Wemby's over 3. Spurs allowed 10.2 fewer points per 100 possessions with Wemby on the floor. And opponents shot just 40.7% from the field against him. That's amazing. Castle said with this news, most of the time when somebody wins Defensive Player of the Year, it's like more team defense. And obviously, you have to be a great defender as well. But I feel like for Vic, he could have won it on any team in the league. That's his teammate, who's also a really good defender in Stephon Castle saying that. And I think I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, could you just put him on any team and he's going to at least be in the DPOY conversation? I think you got to have like a good I guess what you're getting at is, can you put Wemby on any team in the league? Are they a top 10 defense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you're putting them on the Wizards and like just like that, they're a top 10 defense.
I think if he played on the Wizards, he would win Defensive Player of the Year unanimously.
Yeah, that's amazing. So
Yeah, and I guess he's just advanced this quickly in his career, and that is why he is the youngest Defensive Player of the Year winner in history. Because if you look at the previous,
he was a runner-up as a rookie, wasn't he?
No.
Yeah, what?
When they had it, the 22nd best defense.
I thought Rudy Gobert won, and Wemby said,
He
"Well,
was
you
second.
better get to win to
Was
win."
it last year or
No,
2 years
last
ago?
year he didn't qualify.
Yeah, he didn't qualify.
Oh, he didn't
He would have
qualify.
won it last year if he qualified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's surprising because the Spurs were the 22nd best defense in his first year. Well, this year it's totally changed. And that's why it's generally a team award. Oh, this team is really good at defense. They're up in the rankings. This year they're 3rd. So, yeah, I'm not going to go track Defensive Player of the Years and how they did in their first few seasons and their team, how they corresponded, like where they were in the rankings as a team. But it's surprising that you just give him 2nd, even though your team stinks. Isn't that a little surprising?
No.
Even though he's great. I know he's great.
You watched him. If you watch him, he's the best defensive player you've seen. You've watched basketball for 40 years. He's the best you've ever seen.
Yeah, but why are they 25th? They should be way better.
He can't play every minute.
Oh, that's the biggest difference.
Why are we talking about his
2 years
rookie
ago?
season?
Yeah, I'm
They're
just telling
elite
you.
now.
There's nobody
Easily.
you've ever seen like this guy, and
No, I know that.
he's gonna finish no lower than 1st until he gets hurt.
Right. It's whether he's eligible.
That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, but that's
You
surprising.
don't think there'll be any voter fatigue with Defensive Player of the
No,
Year?
I think they like giving it to guys
sort of
to
think- I
repeat
agree.
in Defensive Player of the Year. He's led the league in blocks his first 3 seasons. The most a player has ever led the league in blocks is 4 times. He's going to tie the record next year.
It's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how many he can
He's
string
second in
together.
defensive rebounding.
Yeah.
Like people forget about defensive rebounding is
Yeah.
actually the very last step of playing defense, and he's great at that as well.
Congrats to Wemby. First award in the bag. All right. Rocket star Kevin Durant was a partial participant in practice on Monday. Ime Udoka said KD is considered a game time decision for tonight's game 2 against the Lakers. So I guess he had a tape and bandage there on his right knee, by all reports, with the media there after seeing him in practice. Obviously, we talked about them needing Kevin Durant to maybe win game 2 and get back in this series and tie it up after the Lakers took care of business in game 1.
They need him for sure. Absolutely. It was surprising to hear the report from Shams that this happened on Wednesday in practice, several days before the playoffs, going for a loose ball. He knows exactly what happened in that practice and hitting his teammate. I guess it is a deep bruise, though, for him to be out that many days, swelling, pain, and limiting his range of motion. So it's impossible for us to say.
Do you think he plays tonight, though?
What do I know? I guess.
Yeah. I sort of think
It's
so.
kind of a must-win.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's as close to a must-win as you can get. without it probably being a total must-win. Since they do get their 2 games back at home as well, they can say, yeah, the Lakers did what they were supposed to do. But they need Kevin Durant back. He is the first step to them having like a coherent offense going forward, but they also need a better performance from Alperen Şengün. Oh, yeah. They need some more variety, I think, on the offensive end. It kind of just felt like Şengün go try and score against 5 opponents, and that was not working out. I think Tari Eason should probably play more than Josh Okogie. We don't necessarily need to see Jayshawn Tate for quite as much time as he got in game 1. So I think the offense can be better, but it's a combination of things. Having Durant out there to take possessions and to povide spacing is a great first step for the Rockets, but there's so much more that goes into it as well to be an efficient offense. And it starts with Durant being back on the court, but I think Şengün having a better performance is almost as important.
I agree with that. Yeah, without Durant, the offensive execution was abysmal. They held to 98 points, and they shot, what'd they shoot? Under 38% on Saturday, that game 1 against the Lakers. Something the Dream Shake wrote, it's been sticking with me though. If the Rockets can't beat the Lakers without Luka or Austin Reeves, without Durant, what does that say about their young core? Yeah, it's not great. Şengün, that lack of shooting and the lack of defense is problematic. He needs to be so much better, because then doubt starts creeping in about, like, can Alperen Şengün sort of be your one of your main guys on a contending team, or do you start to almost get into a situation where he feels Sabonis-like a little bit, where the Pacers ultimately flip him for Tyrese Haliburton, have more team success? I'm getting ahead of myself here, but he can be much better, and he needs to be, whether Durant plays or not. He needs to have much more of an impact on this game.
Yeah, I wonder if Ime Udoka is pondering whether or not to start Tari Eason if Kevin Durant isn't playing. You just need more offense. So Josh Okogie to the bench. Here comes Tari Eason, because he was really good. And Tari Eason is a roller coaster type of player. When he gets hot, he gets hot. I imagine you just need those points instead of Josh Okogie, who's limited.
Finally, I got a bunch of coaching news for you. 3 headlines. Nets signed Jordi Fernandez and his coaching staff to contract extensions. The Bucks have met with Taylor Jenkins about a head coach opening. And there's a report that the Warriors want Steve Kerr's commitment on a multi-year deal. And there was a big article from, I guess it was Shelburne and Anthony Slater, about Steve Kerr and this idea that he's taken a couple weeks here to think about whether he wants to return, if he's returning, and all that. Any of those 3 coaching headlines you want to address?
I got to add another headline. We got breaking news from Shams. Billy Donovan is exiting as head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Oh. They wanted him back, and he said, no, thank you.
Wow. He doesn't want anything to do with a rebuild.
He said Donovan determined he wanted to give the team a clean break, provide the ability for the organization to undergo its front office search, and allow the new top basketball executive to make the next coaching hire. You're right. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild, which is why he left the Thunder, and they're still rebuilding to this day. What?
No, they're defending champions. Yeah.
They rebuilt perfectly. It took 2 years, and they won the championship. They have the MVP. He's going to repeat, and they might repeat. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But he's a Hall of Famer, Billy Donovan. See you later.
So another job opening here.
Another job opening.
He's a college man. There was rumors about him going to North Carolina. Right?
There were, yeah.
Not anymore.
They said, give us Mike.
Interesting. Didn't want to answer those Jaden Ivey questions he's had to answer. Interesting stuff there. As far as these go, it was interesting to hear Steph Curry be asked about Steve Kerr and him just saying, I want Steve Kerr to be happy, just to do what he wants to do. It feels like those two are going to be tied forever with Golden State, so you'd assume that he comes back to just connect to the end of Steph Curry's career. But maybe he ain't that happy.
I mean, you saw the clip, Kerr on Friday night in the loss there when they didn't make the postseason. He's got his arm around Draymond, his arm around Steph. He said, quote, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I love you guys to death. So very unsure about the idea of whether or not he returns. And again, there's like this working timeline that he wants a week or 2 to think it over, which I think Warriors management is also like, yeah, think it over, but quicker, Steve, come on. Especially with, I say that semi-seriously, because if there's more job openings and there's a coach, if Kerr does decide to move off and retire or whatever, then you maybe want to get said coach in for an interview before the Bulls or before the Bucks or whatever. Another team snatches him up, said coach. So we'll see here. I don't know with Kerr. I don't know if he'll be back.
Coming into the season, here's a Chicago connection. It felt like the last dance, the last time that they would do the exact same thing that the Chicago Bulls did. The last thing being him leaving, at the end of their run, but we didn't expect. I didn't expect Steph and Draymond to come back. I thought Steve would just connect with that, basically. But I guess Steve, in his eyes, feels like this is the last dance. If he's leaving, it's hard to say. As far as the Jordi Fernandez and his entire coaching staff coming back, you don't see that often in an announcement. Every single one of these guys coming back. Jordi obviously did a good job. The Taylor Jenkins one, that's interesting. When he was with Memphis, he was a very good manager of people, and I think that's what the Milwaukee Bucks need as well. That's different. I think Doc was decent at that, but he wasn't good at modernizing the game, and I think Taylor Jenkins can do that. So he's had a long career, had an assistant year with the Bucks. He's had a long career as a coach. So I think that could very well happen.
What's a better job, Bucks or Bulls?
Oh, well, it all depends on the Giannis scenario. Not to make it about
factor
that.
it in. You got to factor it in.
Yeah.
I don't think Giannis is going to be there. So in that regard, they're going to be sort of similar, where it's like a fresh start, groundwork, right? Trying to build a foundation if you're a coach. I would go Chicago, though.
Bucks don't have a lot of their picks.
No, exactly.
Yeah. I'd say it has to do with the Giannis scenario because it would be dependent on what they get back for Giannis being picks, potentially. Because there's lots of picks to be dealt.
Yeah, maybe.
Is the rumor.
Yeah, it's the Bulls for sure.
Are those the only...
They're going to win a championship in the next 5 years. That's what the stream team's telling me. Billy Donovan leaves your team. Look what happens.
Oh, geez, yeah. Trend.
Yeah.
Are those the only two openings then right now, officially?
New
Chicago
Orleans, I guess, is semi-open.
Oh, yeah, right.
Portland
Yeah.
is semi-open.
Wow. Acting head coach, Tiago Splitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, you want to keep coaching? Here's $10. Says their new owner.
Yep.
Okay. So a couple. And look, if this is a disaster first round loss for the Rockets,
Sure.
I think Udoka might be in trouble. We talked about Mosley, though they got a big win there. Can he save his job here if they shock the world and take down the Pistons, the number 1 seeded Pistons? Maybe. Little bit of the night, sponsored by Kevin Wang. Kevin wrote in, quote, I spent the last week making a daily stats-based NBA trivia game instead of working on my PhD. And when I was done, I realized that none of my friends wanted to play it. Can I sponsor a Willboy? Hell yeah, you can. You just did. Here's how it works. You see stats from specific years and you guess the player. The website is balldon'tcry.com. I checked it out this morning. Hooked. This is a great website. I got some suggestions to make about. No, it's a fun game. It's it's pretty simple. It's just showing you all the stats for said player, but not the teams right away. And as you try and guess who it is, it like unlocks the teams, the first team he played for, and then subsequently like all the teams played for, and then it gets a little easier. But I had fun doing it, and it wasn't easy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is a difficult player. Started his career in 2022. This does not jump out at me right now.
Oh, okay, I have an idea if it's the same, which I
It's
assume
got to
it
be
is
the
for this
same.
day.
It must change every day. Played 43 games in his first year, just 19 in his second year, 44 and then 60 in this past year.
Okay, try Trey. I know who this is. I'm going to tell you he's only played for 2 franchises. I'm jumping ahead. I'm giving you a hint.
Okay.
Oh, 2 franchises.
In fact, Trey, you talk a lot about this guy, or you have before, and you continue to. And we love his first name because it's a hilarious, generic, let's be honest, white guy first name, though he's black.
Mark Williams.
Yay! I think it's Mark Williams.
I love Mark.
Oh, it's cool that it populates all the marks,
Yeah,
but it is
it's
Mark Williams.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, ball, don't cry.
It's not just one player per day. We got a new one.
Yeah, it's 3. Yeah.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
2 of 3. It does have it up on top.
Good.
It's
This is
awesome.
good-
It's fun.
This is good.
Does it have his number? Is that the player's number up there?
I don't think so.
Oh, no. What's that number?
That's just
18?
like how many he's done of
day
this
of it, yeah.
system of this game.
Oh, okay.
Way to go, Kevin. You came to the right spot for this game.
Way to
This
go,
is
Kevin.
literally crack to us.
Yeah, it's in the stream team.
In fact, when I was just hiking with my buddy Grish, your buddy Grish, our buddy Grish, and Dub, one of the things we did on one hike down was basically this. Like, so you just had to say, well, I guess a little different than this. You had to say the teams the guy played for, and then the other guys had to guess. I mean, it's a classic.
Sure.
Guys hanging out game, right? But it's similar to this. So
Are
now
you
you
coming
just
up with
made
the
one
guys on in your head?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But I guess for Mark Williams, you'd be like, all right, Hornets, Suns. And then somebody, it's tough. We had a lot of questions back and forth. Man, it killed hours, though.
Was that Jake Sokolidis? I don't think he was Suns first.
Wow. All right.
My old Greek-Lithuanian friend, Jake Sokolidis.
I didn't know that was his combo.
Where are we?
Georgian Greek. My bad. My bad.
That's okay.
We're at Woboy. That's where we are.
Yep.
CJ McCollum. He got Woboy. Yeah, the music always comes back. Game high 32 points. Wow. That graphic. Does it always do that? Or is that new?
That's new.
Okay, wow. Did you guys miss
more
it?
heroic.
I missed it.
Oh,
I
it
missed
like I don't know. Did this
It
cool
flew in.
into the screen? I don't remember seeing it do that before. McCollum with 32 points in MSG, 12 of 22 from the field, 5 of 7 at the line, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block in 35 minutes played. Great game from CJ McCollum. He's got 2 kids and a hot ass wife. He has sex with his wife. That does not make him a villain. Makes him a hero. God damn it!
At least twice.
At least twice he's had sex. All right. So 3 games on tonight. I'm going to ask it like this. Of the 3 teams that are down in their series that play tonight, 76ers in Boston, Blazers in San Antonio, and then the Rockets in LA to take on the Lakers, which team do you have the most faith in to tie it up after tonight?
Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giddy up, Houston. I just think they absolutely need a win. I think Boston and San Antonio have clear advantages in their matchups. These are 2 7s. You're expecting the 2 to win for the most part, especially at home. And I thought they kind of outclassed their opponents in game 1, whereas Houston self-inflicted damages. I thought a lot in game 1. And if they're getting Kevin Durant back, which we still don't know, but hopefully that's the case, I think this is a must win to me for Houston.
Yeah, it's a must win. Kevin Durant or not, Alperen Şengün has to perform like he can.
Yeah.
He's been a big time player in big games for Turkey. He can do these big games. And I know I bring up the international game like it's far different than the Rockets game, but looking back at his Rockets playoff career, it's very short.
Yeah.
In one series last year, he can be better than that. And because it is a must win, I expect Şengün to be way better.
I'm with you guys. Houston's got to tie that up. What's the over-under for the Nard Dog tonight, though? What are you setting it at?
Over under for the Nard
What
Dog.
would you set it at? You had 27 in game 1. I think they're going to set it at 14 and a half.
That's what I was going to say. 14
Yeah.
and a half.
That might even be
check
high,
it
to be honest. You're checking it? You getting the FanDuel odds?
I will check it.
Can they shut down the Nard Dog?
He's minus 9,000 to score 5 or more. Just FYI.
You get each line. You get
know.
you get 5, 10, 15.
What was the line?
Tess is right. There's 8.5, 9.5. Yeah,
Oh.
there's a million.
Yeah, I don't know
lines.
if there was just one.
Just a
specific
straight up
one.
line?
Yeah,
Well, what would you set it at?
I've got recency bias written all over my face. As soon as I see somebody do have a big game like that, I say, "Whoa,
Why
it's
not
gonna be
again?
huge! It's gonna be huge." No, it's not gonna be. He's
You
not
think
gonna
Luke
go 5
Kennard's
for
going to
5
score
from 3.
20 plus points again tonight?
I would not. Bet
I
on
would
that.
not either. No.
He went 5 for 5 from 3. The Rockets allowed 2 wide open threes to get him
right.
going. So that I don't think the Rockets do that. They don't have that defensive effort again.
Okay.
So, man, 14.5 is a good line. I think.
Yeah, I think I would say 13.5 is
Okay,
the line.
okay.
It has the closest odds, and
Oh.
he's definitely plus odds to score 20 or more. Plus
Yeah.
340, I think I
Ooh,
read.
wow. You can make some coin tonight if you believe in the Nard Dog.
If you believe in the Nard Dog.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star ratings and reviews. The classics continue all week long. Back tomorrow to recap 3 more games and any other NBA news. What do we find out tonight? Clutch player of the year? Is that right? I think so.
Trying to remember the graphic.
So,
I
well,
think
who's
you're
winning
right, though.
tonight? Shea? I guess Shea's going to win tonight.
Yeah, well, the other guys were playing each other. The other nominees were playing each other last night, right? It was
Ant?
Jalen Brunson and Ant. No, that's
No,
Gatorade.
It was not Brunson.
Brunson
right?
didn't
No,
make it.
it's Ant and
Was he Jokic?
Mitchell?
Oh, they're playing each other last night. So
Ant and Jokic?
it wasn't.
I don't know.
Ant and Jamal Murray. My bad.
Oh, that's
right,
what it was.
that's right.
Okay. Okay, we'll find out tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Ball Don't Cry. It's a great website. Also, what might be a great website is just you type in a player's name and the best picture of them pops up. I know you could just do that on Google.
Yeah.
But it's all in one spot, one website. I think it would roll because I just saw Jake Sakalides' best picture. He's holding a carton of milk.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
great picture. I would love to see that on a website.
Brace the day, people.